guys are phenomenal. You demanded what would be my version of a $50 top tier Memento deck. And I gotta admit, this is probably the funnest I've had in Modern. Not only because the deck is cheap, I think it is really good. In today's video, not only will I be breaking down my choices on Memento, I'm also going to be giving you everything you need to know about the deck, as well as options for players that have a little bit more money and want to invest into it, which, newsflash, you don't need much more. Let's go ahead and jump on in. What's going on with ya, big dogs? And it is an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope that your day phenomenal. But if it isn't, don't let what happened at the beginning of your day ruin the rest of your day. So really quick, guys, if you guys are getting this video on Thursday morning, it means that my girls won another game. They are divisional champions. Holy God, I am a first-year coach, and we're already going to the biggest stage, pretty much the girls' Super Bowl. It would be wrong to say that I did this all by myself. Of course, I have my beautiful wife that also helps coaches the girls, Coach Ramsey, I have Coach Winters, I have Coach Overland, the boys that helped, the student body, everybody. And of course, we're not getting there without the girls. Every single one of you guys are super duper important. We have a championship game against the team that beat us twice this season. It's almost poetic we actually have a shot to play them for all of the marbles. I just need one quick favor from you guys, just a second of your time. Comment down below and give my girls support. They read what you guys say, and before the game, I want to make it a point to show them your comments. So give them the praise, give them that congratulations, and also wish them the best of luck on the game. Also, big dogs, show me some grace. I have worked 2 12-hour shifts on top of all of the other stuff that I'm doing, so I'm completely drained. I think I have the mental capacity to be able to show you how cool this deck is, though. And if you guys like this style of approach to my videos, then let me know. It doesn't always have to be rah-rah. I actually want to see what you guys think about the laid-back, sleepy Cali. My ears are not red from smoking. I'm just tired. The $50 budget Memento deck. I picked Memento because not only is it one of my favorite decks, statistically, it is one of the best decks in the game. Memento doesn't have a ton of Yu-Gi-Oh players playing it, but it does really well at high-level events like YCSs, regionals, and even local level. I think it's because Memento does seem like a pretty scary deck at first, but I'm going to be breaking down a ton of tips and tricks and everything that you need to know about it, as well as giving you a $50 budget deck profile. Let's go ahead and jump on in. Big dogs, for the Goombas that did not know, we do use Raven Wing as the only brand of sleeve, and no, they're not from Dongguan or whatever, Berry Co. These are the best sleeves in the universe, and if you guys want to know where you can pick up the mat, well, the same place you can pick up your sleeves, which is TheCaliEffect.com. Go ahead and purchase your sleeves today. But Memento is really simple. It seems scary, but allow me to break it down. For the monsters or the starters, you have 3 copies of Memento Tatsunoko, you have 3 copies of Anduwitch, and 3 copies of Dark Blade. Now, before you guys start saying it down below in the comment section, yes, this deck is $50. No, this particular deck is not worth $50, but you can get all of the cards lowest rarity, and it will equate to about $50 for the deck. The main thing that I want you guys to understand is that Memento is a deck built off of destroying themselves to be able to gain their effects. Anduwitch allows you to be able to search any Memento monster from your deck to your hand. Dark Blade can discard a Memento card to destroy a spell or trap card that's actually really good, but can also destroy itself to summon a meme from deck. And Tatsunoko can destroy a meme to send memes from your deck to the graveyard up to the level of the monster you destroyed. One thing I want to be very clear with you guys with Memento is that they don't have to destroy themselves. So the trick here is that if your opponent tries to get rid of the Memento monster or interrupt its effect, there are actually ways for you to get rid of the body to dodge the negation effect or whatever, summon another meme, and then destroy it. But overall, these are the bread and butter of the deck, and you want to get as many Memento monsters into the graveyard as possible to be able to summon your big dogs. And seeing that this is a primarily fusion-based deck, we complement that with 2 copies of Memento Sleepy. Some players play 1 copy of Sleepy. I play 2 because if you are doing the deck's basic win con, which is destroying a meme, this card is not only a free body for potential Exceed or Link plays, it also is a monster that fuses. Now, to complement that, I am playing a big Goblin engine. There's 2 copies of Mementolian Goblin, 1 copy of Doug the Charger, 1 copy of Grand Entrance, and 3 copies of Goblin Biker Grand Breakout. So here's the deal with the Goblin engine. You don't have to play as big of an engine as I'm playing. In fact, you can literally cut all of these cards and be okay. But the reason why I increased the Goblin Biker engine is because I want consistency. Personally, I value consistency over everything. And I think especially when you're building a budget deck, that's something that you guys should keep in mind. But there is a couple of layers to add to the Goblin engine. If you're playing against a deck like K9, the effect of Goblin Biker Grand Entrance allows you to detach a material from them, as well as add Goblin or Doug the Charger. Hypothetically, you can detach 2 materials by using Goblin Biker Grand Engines to Doug the Charger, get a free special summon, and grab Grand Breakout to summon Goblin, which is full combo. That is 3 pretty solid reasons to play the Goblin Biker in your deck. Consistency, the ability to go against an XE deck and have more potency, and of course, lastly is that Goblin Biker's Grand Breakout allows you to be able to tribute Memento monsters, which can be clutch. Let's say, for example, I normal summon Angie Witch and my opponent wanted to use a card like Infinite Impermanence or Effect Failure. Well, not only will Goblin Biker Grand Breakout allow me to dodge that because the monster is no longer on the field, it also gets me a free monster to my side of the field. Moving forward, we have the other memes. There's 1 Gaddock, 1 Mace, 1 Akihiron, 1 Teklecula, and 1 Tricorn Dragon. I've actually seen people not play Tricorn Dragon, which I do think you're crazy. So if we're looking at some of the best decks in the game like Yummy, K9, Malice, and stuff like that, you start to realize a constant theme that if you can get rid of your opponent's bodies, a lot of times you can secure the game. Memento Tricorn Dragon adds an additional layer because destroying this card on your field allows you to destroy your Memento, something that you want to do to be able to get rid of their cards. This card also doesn't activate its summon, so in like very simple game states, this card's stronger than most Yummy monsters. But outside of that, these cards are all ultra important, with Teklecula being a 5,000 attack boss monster that players have to deal with, and I want you to keep in mind, its summon isn't once per turn. Akihiron allowing your level 9 and higher monsters to attack directly. That means that Teklecula and a fusion monster can swing for exactly 8,000 regardless of the board that your opponent has. Maze getting you Memento cards, and Gaddock getting you a free special summon. All of these cards are ultra important, but I don't think that you need more than 1 copy of any of them. Keep in mind, pretty much all of the Memento cards are pretty easy to recycle. And that's why for spell cards, I play 3 copies of Memento Bone Party and 3 copies of Memento Fusion alongside of the Memo Ticklin. I don't know how to say this card's name right, but it's a really dope card. So there's actually another Memento spell card, which I don't think is bad anymore. The card's name is Memento Bone Pack, and what it does, it says is a face-up Memento monster you control leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect. It allows you to special summon tech from your deck. That effect isn't necessarily the most amazing thing, but its graveyard effect is crazy. It says if your opponent moves a card out of your graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon as many memes from your hand or deck. Now, I'm not playing it because it's situational, but I think that the card can be really solid. There's also the 2 trap cards, Memento Fracture Dance and Cranium Burst. Those cards are really solid, giving you negations and destructions, but I don't think they're necessarily necessary for Memento. The deck is really good at establishing its board, and if you guys can get your Memento Fusion and Bone Party in rotation alongside of your Memo Ticklin, you're probably already winning. But these are the bread and butter of Memento, and the best thing about it is that not only are they quick play spell cards with graveyard effects that are pretty good, they give you another layer to help you break your opponent's board and dodge your opponent's card effects. This deck is huge on dodging card effects. One of the things that I love about this deck is that your opponent is going to be really wary on using cards like Infinite Impermanence and stuff because they can very much get punished. I play 0 hand traps in this deck. Now again, I want to point out I don't think that hand traps are complete dog water. I think that Ghost Bell in Haunted Mansion is insane. It's actually one of the cards that is in my side deck because it's really good when going second to stop Yummy, Malice, K9, and just about everything else in the game. But one thing that I noticed about memes is that it's not a deck that needs to play a bunch of hand traps. In fact, in the main board, if you guys can afford it, the only hand trap that I would be playing is Molchemi Flawless, because the deck is just so naturally good at being able to break boards. Summoning a 5,000 attack monster that can attack every single one of your opponent's monsters is crazy. I normally let my opponent build the board that they want, and I just go to breaking it. And if I go first, then well, I don't have to deal with a hand trap, so I'm good. To finish it off, we do play board breakers though. There is 3 copies of Super Polymerization. This card's actually insane in this deck. Not only can you use it offensively to be able to get rid of your opponent's cards, you can use it defensively to fuse your memes. So technically you have 12 ways to dodge interruption in this deck. There's then 3 copies of Forbidden Chalice. I genuinely like Chalice because of its interactability. It's a great card that allows you to go first and second. It can stop cards like K9 Lupus from being able to be X-seeded summoned on your turn. It also stops Yummy Snatchy when they want to synchro summon. But there is one more package that I'm actually playing in this deck, and I think it's insane. You guys are going to be bewildered when I say I play 3 copies of Radiant Typhoon Vision and 1 copy of Mystical Space Typhoon. Mystical Space Typhoon in the main deck is insane, but you gotta hear me out. So between Radiant Typhoon Vision and Mystical Space Typhoon, there's then 3 copies of Forbidden Chalice, 3 copies of Super Polymerization, 3 copies of the Memento Fusion, and 3 copies of Memento Bone Party. There's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16 quick play spell cards. Oh, I'm sorry. 19 quick play spell cards with Breakout. Radiant Typhoon Vision not only allows you to be able to get Mystical Space Typhoon, which is actually kind of good this format. This card is actually kind of crazy, especially seeing that you can recur it. But Radiant Typhoon Vision not only allows me to be able to see my board breakers a little bit faster, I also play enough quick play spell cards, it's almost half the deck, to be able to guarantee that me drawing Radiant Typhoon Vision means that I just draw 2 cards. And who doesn't like drawing 2 cards? You combine that with cards like Memento Fusion, which if I discard it, can get me my combo started by destroying a monster, and Bone Party, which actually has a great effect in the graveyard that piercing comes up. There's actually a real relevance to play Radiant Typhoon Vision. Personally, I think that this is one of the most cracked cards coming out of Dooms of Dimensions, and I'm a little bit upset it didn't get an ultra rare printing, or at least a super rare. Now, a really interesting thing that you can do in this deck is play a Radiant Typhoon engine. The Radiant Typhoon monsters can be special summoned while you have Mystical Space Typhoon in your graveyard, which I play, or your opponent has no spell and traps. Eldum allows you to be able to search Swim. Swim can either search Radiant Typhoon Vision or Radiant Typhoon Chant, and those monsters can be used for an X-seed summon into Goblin Biker Bitgobunga, which can search Goblin Biker cards, so it's full combo. I strongly suggest that you play around with those cards because you might like what you see. The Radiant Typhoon cards are 100% cards that are going to skyrocket very soon. You heard it from me first. Now for the extra deck, we can get really interesting. There's 1 Underworld Goddess, 1 Charmy. This card is actually really good against Mitsurugi. You summon their Murakumo to your side of the field. Gorgon of Ziliphthonia. This card's also really, really good. It's one of the very few cards that can out Lunalight Liger Dancer or whatever. And I talked about it as a buy these cards before it skyrockets in price because there's a really cool trick to it. There's then 1 copy of Cross Sheep, 1 IP Masquerena, 1 SP Little Knight. And if I'm being so for real with you guys, most of the cards in the extra deck aren't mandatory. I just personally like the idea that IP Masquerena can link summon until Ziliphthonia on your opponent's turn, and it can negate your opponent's monster effects. Or you can use IP into Underworld Goddess, because this deck does place a lot of monsters on board. Or you can just go into SP Little Knight. The best thing is that this play is never telegraphed. Your opponent doesn't know what to do when you're playing IP Masquerena. Now for the rest are fusion monsters. I do play 1 copy of Guardian Chimera, but you can cut this card. This card can be made with Memento Fusion to be able to destroy and draw more resources. I think 3 copies of Creation King is mandatory. This is the boss daddy of our deck, but not only does it allow us to be able to search the field spell and send means from the deck to the graveyard, it also can destroy cards on the field. Only 1 copy of Twin Dragon. This card's really good. And then I played 3 Super Poly targets, the Triffy-Verdum, the Garua, and the Mud Dragon. Now, Triffy-Verdum should very much be Secretarian Dragon, but to make this deck $50, I had to go with the Triffy-Verdum. But there are tons of Yu-Gi-Oh decks that actually put 3 Darks on the board, so not hard to do. Lastly, I am playing the Sky Crisis, but that doesn't mean that you can't mix up this particular deck. There's actually some pretty decent cards that you can consider playing. Protoplanet Drago Stapelia is one of them. You can play a full access code talker package with Selene and access code. Fusion summoning a monster under Cross Sheep allows you to be able to summon back Mace, which is the spellcaster to make Selene, which is access code talker, which can destroy 2 cards on the field for free. If you made Anima first, then I mean, that's 3 cards. Proxy F Magician is not the worst card in the world, but it can be used as a polymerization when you need it. Then Valen and K9 Ripper. This deck can actually summon level 5 monsters. Tatsunoko and Akihiran are both of them. So it's very much within range that you can play those cards. I know you guys are excited and want to see the combo tutorial, but before I do, I want to point out I'm going to be putting test hands on my Patreon as a special thank you for helping me pay my editors. I will show you the very, very basic Memento combo though, and show you why it's so good. All right, so the very basic combo, it's like best when you get Memento Dark Blade, but I'm not gonna lie to you. If you have like Dark Blade and Angie Witch in your hand, you probably should summon the Angie Witch because your opponent will draw 2 cards if they charm you from Dark Blade. Well, they'll only draw 1 if you go Angie Witch. Oh, also this deck is immune to Paruli. I don't know if I said that. The card sucks against this deck. You can give them 1 card and that's it. All right, so let's start off with the Dark Blade combo, but it's pretty much the same thing. You're gonna use Dark Blade to destroy itself to get Memento Angie Witch, and then the effect of Angie Witch will allow you to be able to add Tatsunoko from your deck to your hand. Now, you guys can get really greedy and you can special summon the Tatsunoko, Tatsunoko, and Tatsunoko could destroy itself to be able to send Gaddock, Mace, and Goblin to the graveyard. So that would go to the graveyard. These would go to the graveyard, and then you can activate the effect of Gaddock to summon, add a card to your hand, it kind of doesn't matter, and then Witch to destroy itself, summoning out the Mace to search, but we're not going to do that. That combo is really, really, really greedy, and I'm not trying to get punished. Oftentimes, you want to search the Tatsunoko, summon the Tatsunoko, destroy itself, and then use that effect to send the Gaddock and the Sleepy to the graveyard. So there's Gaddock and there's Sleepy. There's a lot more safer because it leads less cards to pop off with, but Gaddock was sent to the graveyard, it can special summon itself and add Sleepy back into the hand. Now there's a couple of ways to do this combo. You can summon Memento Sleepy and fuse straight into the Memento TheCaliEffect, but that only works if you have the correct extensions. This time around, I'm going to get really, really greedy since it's a 1-card combo, and I'm going to go ahead and fusion summon into Twin Dragon using both the Witch and the Gaddock. We'll now use the effect of Twin Dragon to destroy itself to add 2 Memento monsters from our deck to our hand. And then I'll use the effect of Memento Twin Dragon to summon Witch to my side of the field. I'll use Witch to destroy the Sleepy to summon out the Gaddock. Then the effect of Sleepy sends the Memento Fusion from my deck to the graveyard. Now I can do some cool things with Fusion. We can banish it to destroy the Memento Gaddock, and we'll use that effect to be able to add Memento Bone Party to our hands. I will Bone Party out the Memento Witch, and I'll use that to special summon Memento Mace to my side of the field. Memento Mace then destroys itself, or Witch, it doesn't matter here. We'll add Memento Fusion from our decks to our hand, and now we have Bone Party in rotation. So I can activate Fusion, and the cool thing about this card is that since I destroyed a meme, I can use cards in my graveyard. I'll fuse off the Witch from field, the Twin Dragon, and the Mace back into the deck to be able to summon out Memento TheCaliEffect Combined Creation King. The effect of Combined Creation King allows me to send 3 memes from my deck to the graveyard. Here goes Memento Akihiron. We'll also send off Memento Combined Creation, and then for my extra deck, I will send my second TheCaliEffect. Use the effect of TheCaliEffect to be able to add Mimo Tishlin from your deck to your hand, and then activate the Mimo Tishlin and shuffle in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, summon this bad puppy out to your side of the field. Oh, I'm sorry, you're supposed to summon Horn Dragon first because you need 3 memes in the graveyard. And then on your end phase, you can get Bone Party back to your side of the field. What exactly does this mean? Well, with a 1-card combo, we actually have a few effects here. I wasn't able to destroy on my turn to be able to trigger Mimo Tishlin, but what I can do here is that if my opponent activates a card effect, I can special summon the Witch to my side of the field. Witch can either add Sleepy or it can add Mace from your deck to your hand. And the cool thing about Mace is that it can snatch steal your opponent's monster. Depending on the scenario, it's going to decide which cards you're going to get. And to be honest with you, you can get both of them if you use your Bone Party right. Using it to destroy your Trihorn Dragon, you can either summon Dark Blade to your side of the field to discard the monster to destroy a spell trap. You can summon out your Memento Sleepy and keep the Mace in your hand. Now you have a fusion summon on your opponent's turn. Which of your opponent does out the Creation King, that's pretty good. You can just summon another one. You can also summon Memento Gaddock to be able to get Fusion or Trihorn Dragon back to your hand. The combinations are endless. But what's the most important thing, I'm just going to put Sleepy right here, is that you have a couple of effects. Since you use Bone Party and destroy Trihorn Dragon, you can destroy your Witch to destroy 2 of your opponent's cards. And you can also summon Akihiron to your side of the field. It also means that your TheCaliEffect can destroy up to 3 monsters or 3 of your mementos, actually up to 4, to destroy 4 of your opponent's monsters, and you already took 1 with Mace. And then it also triggers your Mimo Tishlin effect and the effect of your Akihiron, allowing you to add Bone Party or Memento Fusion from your graveyard to your hand. And of course, Mimo Tishlin allows you to summon any of these bad puppies back to your side of the field, like Combined Creation King for a huge body. As you guys can see, there is so many combos and opportunities with this deck. And that was all off of just 1 card. Memento can be a very powerful Yu-Gi-Oh deck in the correct player's hands. And with the decision tree for this deck being almost endless, it is up to you, the player, to take this $50 deck to the next level. And that's pretty much all that I have for the video today. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching the channel. I know I've been gone for a while, but I'm coming home from milk. Tomorrow's our last football game. Period. Of course, big dogs, wish my girls luck. Thank you so much. Go to TheCaliEffect.com, get your product, and be sure to check out these videos so I can catch you on the next one.